Okay, well, I don't like the way this is looking. Hear me laughing? That's nervous laughter. Because if you look here, how much oil this has been using, and all the symptoms of the Plenum, classic Plenum gasket problem Dodges have, but I don't see anywhere where the gasket is protruding or it's blown out, which means I may have another problem. I hadn't checked the compression on this engine. I may have enough miles that maybe it's getting blow by. I'm going to pull this plate off. Hopefully I will find signs of blow through on the gasket and leakage. Find out. Well, no real signs of what you'd say blow by. Gasket's pretty uniform all the way around, but it's shot. I don't know if you can see it in this, but I mean it's it's so thin I don't think you can even measure the thickness of it. And as you can plainly see, it's all full of oil. The motor oil all in the intake, all over the pan. So it's definitely been leaking. So I know it sounds silly to be strange to be happy to see an oil leak, but I am happy because it means that I didn't do all this for no reason. Yep. I guess next step is clean everything up and place the pan in the gasket and put everything back. Here we go. Okay, this is what this thing looks like once you install it. It's significantly thicker, as you can see. And they give you a nice gasket to go with it. And I got my fuel rail and injectors out, but that's not a necessary step for this repair. It's just something I decided to do because the fuel rail was all nasty and rusty and whatnot. So I took it off, cleaned it up, and repainted it, and cleaned the injectors and whatnot. But that's not really necessary. All you gotta really do is just change this pan out, and clean the inside of the intake, of course. Next step is to go over to the truck, and I still got to clean up the old gasket material from the heads and oil and stuff, and vacuum up the excess fluids out of the lifter rallies with the chop vac, and then we'll be putting this back in. That'll be the next video, or next part of the video. Okay. Well, after much fooling around and messing with those bolts, finally got the thing on here. I got ahead of myself though. I was going to show you cleaning up the gasket surfaces. I'm sure if you're doing this, you probably already know. Got to be basically spotless, shiny, clean, smooth. So the new gaskets will seal and seat like they're supposed to. If you have one of these wheels, like what's on this drill here, they're made for that sort of thing. It makes the job a whole lot easier. It took me maybe 15 minutes to do both sides, and there's a lot of old gasket material left behind. If you're going to use a cordless like this though, make sure your battery's fully charged, because the more speed the better. Works a lot better if it's running at full speed. Anyhow, all we got left to do now is put everything back on. I don't think it's really necessary to show that. It's just the reverse of what you took everything off. I'll probably start with the throttle body because it's got to be. I got to clean that. Take that old gasket off and clean that up. Put a new gasket on. But since I took everything off as a unit, cables and the linkage and everything, all I got to do is just set it back on there, put those 4 bolts in with a new gasket, and I'm done. I highly recommend that method versus what they tell you in the instructions. Hughes instructions tell you to basically disassemble the thing. I'm not really sure why you'd want to do that. You can if you want to. They also tell you to take off the spark plug wires and a few other things, which is not necessary. I was able to work on it just fine by pushing them out of the way. So I might do another segment of this after I get everything together and get it running. I'm doing a couple other things. I'm replacing the catalytic converter and the Y pipe, the high performance Y pipe and high flow cat. And I'm going to be getting rid of this fan and a clutch. I'm going with an electric fan. But anyhow, the point of this was to show you the process of doing the Plenum gasket repair, or actually mod, I guess, as you replace the bottom pan. And that's pretty much it. I hope this was helpful. I know it's not very professional, and I'm kind of laid back. Hopefully I didn't skip over anything that was important to you. If I did, I apologize. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Bye. Thing, minor detail. All these brand new shiny bolts, after you get it all set in and everything, I usually let it sit there for a while, especially if it's warm like this. It lets the gasket flatten out and everything sort of settle in. I snug the bolts up, I won't really call it snug, just where they're touching the metal. Just everything's sitting there nice and level, and it can seat in. But anyhow, the step I'm referring to is you got to torque these bolts in a certain pattern. Hughes gives you this handy dandy guide. It's basically the same steps that are in the owner's manual. If you have a shop manual, same info's in there. You're going to want to use an inch-pound torque wrench, probably 3/8 drive preferably, just so you don't over-torque. Because the maximum torque that Chrysler calls for in these aluminum intakes is 12 foot-pounds. And it's real easy to get to 12 foot-pounds. You'll get there real quick, even doing it incrementally like they tell you to. And you don't want to over-torque, because if you get one end torqued more than the other, say you're guesstimating or whatever, well, common laws of physics will tell you, you got a flat surface that's bolted to something, and you bolt one end tighter than the other, well, one end's going to be higher than the other too, and what's going to happen is it won't be long, and your brand new intake gaskets will start leaking, and you'll have to pull the intake back off and redo it. So just take the extra time and follow the pattern and torque your bolts, and it'll be done right. That's my suggestion anyhow. Once again, thank you for watching. Hope this helped anybody that was wanting to do this. I tried to get it as in-depth without getting carried away as I could. Anyhow, it is what it is. Thank you.